Okay, hello, welcome to another edition of the PowerShell Skills Training for PC. And today we're going to be discussing something that is totally different. And what's going to be based on today is on a particular Adobe app which is not commonly used, but it's kind of used, but you don't really know it is being used. Okay, and the name of the app is Adobe InDesign. Okay, it might sound like a new name to you, but actually I think it's one of the top 3 apps that is recommended for graphic designers who are using Adobe softwares. So I think you know Adobe Photoshop, you know Adobe Illustrator, but Adobe InDesign is used for mostly for print and for books and for stuff related to magazines and stuff like that. So without wasting much of our time, let's take a quick view into Adobe InDesign. I'm going to be talking about the interface in this one. It's just some set of tools, and it's going to be divided into 2 main sections. So make sure you check out the second episode after this episode. So now let's move. I'm going to have to click on it right here, and okay, just press OK for this, and it's kind of loading. I know you can see this interface, and look, we've got our interface right here. Yeah, I think I'll minimize this one and kind of do this one. So I'm going to press create new, and right here, as you can see, this could look a little bit of complicated, okay, on whatever way you call it, okay, but what you need to know about this stuff is that it's kind of quite simple. Just know that you can add document presets, custom document presets to it, or just use the default one. And also you can just set the intent in which you want to use it for web, for mobile, or for print. And I told you it's mostly for print. Next one is about how your page is going to look like. I think I want a A4 instead, and I think I want just one column and just some little bit of one gutter, and so the margins and stuff like that. Now the bleed, make sure you add a bleed just to make sure that your pages print out in the correct manner. Okay, you don't have to have some problems when printing, and I think it's better if your bleed is in normal way. And also your page size, you can adjust it right here. I think this is kind of quite cool. And your attention, whether you want it to be portrait or landscape, you could always adjust it right here. It's very easy to do. So I'm gonna press OK, and my page is ready. So this is a kind of brilliant stuff. Okay, it's a very good app for stuff for printing. Okay, and it has all the stuff customized by a brilliant software developer. Okay, let's just say brilliant software developer. So as you can see right here, the interface is kind of quite complicated, but as you know, whether you are familiar with Illustrator or Photoshop, okay, I don't have to explain everything right here. That's because you are familiar with it. But because of those that are not familiar with the interface of Photoshop or Illustrator, and they want to start a career in printing stuffs, okay, and making magazines and book covers for people, I'm going to make it kind of quite easy to learn. So please let's pay maximum attention and let's look at how we can do this. So first, for the first and second episode of this tutorial, I'm going to go to the tools right here, okay. Then for the second episode, I'll go through some stuffs up right here. Then maybe the next episode after that, I could actually go through the stuff right here too. Okay, I'm going to make the episode as short as possible, and I'm not going to rush too much. Okay, so let's pay the maximum attention we can pay right now. So now right here, these tools, you actually notice that these tools are kind of quite easy to use, since maybe you're familiar with Photoshop or Illustrator. But for those who are not familiar with Photoshop or Illustrator, I'm going to make it quite explanatory as I can make it. So now let's go. So this tool right here is called the selection tool, and you could actually use letter V to access it, letter V to access selection tool. But if you notice the fact that we have 2 selection tools, we have the selection tool and we have a direct selection tool. For you might be wondering that what's the direct selection tool about, and in just a few minutes we'll discuss that. So now what you can use the selection tool to do, you can actually use it to do a lot of stuff, as in it's one of the fundamental tools you're going to be making use of. So I'm going to click on the rectangle, and I'm going to draw a rectangle right here, and I think I'm going to give it a color green. Okay, and as you can see, I have a green rectangle, and with this selection tool selected, I could click on it and drag it the way I want it, left, right, up, down. I could do it any way I want to do it. Select it, deselect it, select, deselect. So this is how the selection tool works. With the selection tool, I can also resize it. So we work on some tools which are specifically designed for this. As you can see, I could resize it. I could do a lot of stuff. As in, this is amazing. As in, you gotta try this out. So it's like this tool is basically made for this. So let's just delete this. That's what selection tool is based on. Now for the direct selection tool, I think I'm gonna have to put this right back. So for the direct selection tool, I have to click on this, and when you get to the shape, you see some anchor point. You see the small dots right here. The small dots at the edges. You could just click on those dots, okay, and drag it anyhow you want, okay. The way you drag, you can drag it anyhow you want. This is what the direct selection tool is made up for. Okay, look at it. I could drag the shape to be in any way I want it to be. Oh, I think I'm drawing a futuristic space shape. So this is how the selection tool can made up, and that's the difference actually. So I can actually drag it the way I want. As you can see, I think I'm doing a great job dragging this stuff just like this. So this is just what you need to know about direct selection tool. I think I'm going to delete this for now. Okay, so now the next tool which is on our list is called the page tool, and we're going to make use of that. Look, I could just do the stuff with the page. Okay, I could adjust the page over and over again any way I want to adjust it. Okay, any way I just want to adjust it. And actually I could just turn it to landscape, as it consists of a set of tools which I can just use to convert my page anyhow, as you can see. So let's just go back to A4 paper and put in the normal scape one. So that's just what the page tool is used for. Now this one is called the gap tool, and as you know, just to give it some space, but let's make it quite explanatory. Let's make it quite explanatory. So I'm gonna click on this and give it a yellow color, and I'm gonna click on the gap tool, and right here you can see some stuff is showing right here. So I could actually make it so I could close up the gap right here, or I could actually close up the gap right here. So you click on the edges right here, and you can just close up the gap here, as in, okay, let me just show you how this stuff can be used. As in, I want to design a very beautiful book cover. So look, I could design this. I could pull this up a little bit. Okay, let me just give it a blue color. Sorry, not this, the shape. I give the shape a blue color, and I just have a white background below, and I could just write picture, and I could write InDesign tutorial hop right here. So it's kind of quite useful anyway. The next tool which is on my list is kind of quite weird, but I think it's for those who don't want their works to be, not to be in a good way, but they want it to be in the best way in which they can imagine it to be. So I'm gonna just give you a quick preview of the tool. Yeah, a quick preview of the tool. And so that's what we have, what we call the content collector tool. And you can always click letter B to just letter B on the keyboard just to access the tool. So when I click on the tool right here, you're gonna see some weird looking stuff right here, and it's not kind of quite complicated as it looks like. What you have to do, just click on the shape. You can just keep the shape here for some while until you need it in just maybe in the future, stuff like that. So look at me, when I click on it, the shape is right here. Now you might wonder that how am I going to get the shape out of this place when I need it, okay? And that's kind of quite easy to do. So I'm going to just look, this is the content placer tool. I'm going to place my content back. I'm going to click on this. You can access it right here, or you can access it right here. Now note, when you see this small white shade stuff down this place, that means the stuff has a sub tool under it. So to access the sub tool, you can just long click on this stuff. You long click on it. Don't release your click, and you select it. Although in some InDesign versions you might not need to long click on it, but since I'm using the legacy view due to some illustration and bug problems with InDesign 2020, so I just have to use the simple stuff. So I'm going to use the content placer tool. As you can see, this looks quite cool. So I'm going to use the content placer tool, and I'm going to have to place the contents back one by one. You see, the shape does not decrease; it's still the same stuff. As in, it keeps the shape, keeps the color, keeps everything alright. I think this tool is kind of quite cool. So let's just pretend we never did this and delete that. I think I'm gonna have to put some back. I know I'm making this kind of mistake anyway. So yeah, as you can see, we've got some shapes right here. I'm gonna use the next tool, which is called the type tool. Actually, this is the tool you're gonna be seeing. So this is the type tool. You're gonna click T to get to the type tool. And there are two types of type tool, and I've told you that when you see those white stuff underneath the stuff, it means that's a sub tool. We'll get to that very soon. So now the type tool is not as easy as you see in Illustrator, okay? And so it's not that you can just type anything. You can just type the word lorem ipsum or whatever that word is. I don't really know the meaning. So, but you just have to draw the place you're gonna type, just like this. This is gonna be suitable for a magazine, and I could just type anything I want to type. As in, look, yeah, I can type it, type and type and type and type any way I want to type. But you know what's funny about this stuff is the fact that I could always adjust the size to any way, and it's gonna fit right into the place where I want it to fit into. I can also adjust some stuff right there, which I'm not gonna do right now because I'm not working on type 2. So that's just the basics of the stuff, okay? And I'm very sure you know that with the symbols right here, if you get adjusted to this shape, the kerning, the length of the shape, the stuff right there. It's kind of quite easy to get used to. So I'm gonna delete that right now and pretend the title never existed. This stuff never existed. So now the next one, which is the type on the part 2. So I'm gonna click on this just like this and click type on the part 2. So now when you get to the shape, that's why I left the shape right here. When you get to the shape right here, you see the +2, which means you can go ahead. So I'm gonna click on it right here, and look, I'm typing, and as I'm typing, it's typing on the shape, okay, beside the shape. As you can see, it's not going anywhere, but it's typing beside the shape. This is kind of quite cool. So that's what we use to type on the part 2 for. Okay, we can type on a circle, on a polygon, any shape you formed, we can type on it. So this is kind of quite easy to use. Okay, so I'm going to delete that. The next one is the line segment tool. I know it's called the line segment tool, and it looks kind of quite important. It's just about normal lines you draw every day. I could just click shift and make it a straight line, and that looks quite cool. Then if I want to make it a good line, I'm gonna click on this again. Oh, sorry, and draw a straight line from this, and from this I could just draw a good straight line from this. So it's just so simple like that. As in, I think I drew this is a triangle, and that's kind of quite cool. So that's what you get to do with the line segment. So the next two right here is called the anchor point tool. Sorry, the pen tool right here. So the pen tool is a very useful tool. I'm gonna make use of it in a very good way. So now the pen tools can be used for drawing varieties of shape. You can use it for shape tracing stuff. A lot of tracing can be done with a pen tool, and that's just what it means. That's just what it's meant for. Now, for how to use the pen tool, you could just create an anchor point, and you drag the anchor point the way you want to drag it. Okay, so when you discover that maybe you don't need this part of the anchor point,